Hey, what's up guys, Zyper here and welcome to a brand new visual tutorial about how to create your own VJ loops. Today I will show you how I've made one of the loops of my Valentine's Day package that I released last month. I tried to do some pinky, hearts, love animation without being too much cheap and do something which is a bit reactive and that can fit through every sort and kind of video performance. Maybe you play in an underground club or some festivals, something like that. You don't want some cheapy hertz on the screen. So it was a nice challenge. I'm really happy with the result. I use them a lot in my own performance and you guys give me a huge response on internet and downloading. You crashed vjing.Perfect down because you were too many download requests, and when there are too much requests on that huge video files, my small servers simply go down. So thank you guys, and yeah, let's see what we're gonna create today. So this is made with Trapcode Particular. It uses a technique I love and I use them a lot, and yeah, we will see a lot of things today we haven't seen in the later tutorials. But if you haven't seen it, go on visions.fr in the tutorial section, visual tutorial, and watch the other tutorials. So you're gonna learn lots of new techniques, and maybe if you're a newcomer on After Effects or in that VJ world, you better start at the beginning where we see some really simple stuff, because today we go into something much more advanced but really useful. So let's jump into After Effects. Create a new composition, 720p, 30 frames per second, and we're gonna change it, make it 2 second lengths, and name this Hurt Particle. Loop 01. Okay, then create a new solid, name this one Particular, comp size black, and add effect, Trapcode Particular. So you will know this one, we used it a lot of time, and this time we will work with the auxiliary system that allows us to emit particles from the particles. So it's a little bit hard to understand in the beginning, but our particle system emits particle, and the auxiliary system emits particle from each particle. So you can give them a totally different look, and yeah, you don't need to see actually the original particle to have the auxiliary system. We'll show you. So continuously, so here you see each particle has other particles, and if I add a lot, make some sort of lines like this, and it really follows each particle. So if I change my emitter, maybe push the velocity down or rotate it, it's really follow. Actually a lot of VJ loops and other motion design stuff is made with this, so maybe I've seen it, these lines and everything. So that's what we are going to do today, and then we are going to make this move to trace a heart, and with all these lines and stripes and everything following, you will see really easy to do. Yeah, also not so easy as the last time, but nothing difficult, and this will look very nice. So we'll restart it, Trapcode Particular. As every time, I don't want to have the velocity, so I push everything down to 0. And now I want this to trace a heart. So for doing this, the best way is to add a new light, name this emitter. It's really important that this one is named emitter, and yeah, you don't need all the other info because we don't want this to work as a light, but as an emitter for our particle system. So then in particular, go to emitter tip, and from point to lights. And now as you see, all the particles are emitting for my light, and if I move my light, my particles are following. So let's start to trace a heart. Go to frame 0 and press P on your keyboard like Patrick, P, add proportional grid, and yeah, add a keyframe. And now we're gonna make first position here, go to 5 frames, second position maybe here, like this, 10 frames, third one maybe something like that, and at 15, so my first beat, I want this to be complete. Oh, like this. If you haven't understand what I want to do, it should be a little bit more clear now. So once you have your different position, you can see them here, and you can move and arrange them without killing your keyframe. So push this proportional grid out and just trace something or look like half hertz. Because we're gonna create the second one half with just a mirror effect on an adjustment layer. We do this all the time, so you know how it works. Yeah, don't look too bad. So, and now you see our particles are just following my lights. It doesn't look like a real line for the moment. So go back into the particular and just push the emitter size to 0. So it look like a line a little bit more, and just push the particles per second up. Not too much, but between 400 and 500 is okay. So now let's turn our auxiliary system on and see what's happened. Yeah. So now as our particles are just moving like a line and it's really smooth, the auxiliary system doesn't emit too much because it needs to move and have some direction so that the particles are moving away. So for that we need to add a little bit velocity, not too much. And I want to add the velocity from motion, just a very little bit. And you will see our auxiliary system will go up. So now you can see, yeah, it's emitting, and as it takes some movement, the velocity from motion take this movement and expand it. And it starts to look a little bit like what we want. So now we enter in a real design process. So in all the tutorials, we always worked on some lines, so really perfect design with some perfect numbers and perfect, everything was easy and perfect. And here the main idea is to create something that look a little bit more organic, a little bit more abstract. So maybe I will do something who look very bad, and you, by turning exactly the same buttons on your screen, have something who look different and very cool. So I'm really sorry for that, guys. That's motion design. And yeah, I hope that what you will do will looks great on your computer, and I hope that what I'm gonna do looks great too, but I'm never sure because it's a lot of abstract stuff. So first thing to do is fix the color. So in our auxiliary system, before doing that, we're just gonna turn the particle size down so we don't see the main particle, and we just have our auxiliary system here. So first thing to do is change the color. Go to color over live, select the second gradient, black and white, right click on the white or double click, push it to red. And second one here, instead of black, I want to have something more pink. Push the pink in the middle and just add another one and maybe finish it with white. A little bit more red. Never use too much color because it will glow a little bit too much and the fading won't be too much perfect. So I want it to start red, go pink, and finish with just a little bit of white. And in the same time, I want the color to be too aggressive. So yeah, that's what I said before. I can't tell you exactly. It's just like moving the parameter and see a little bit what's happened. Yeah, okay, should be okay like this. Now I don't want it to look too much like stripes like that, so I need to push my particles per second up. Maybe like this, and then the size a little bit down, and live to 1 second. So it's emit a little bit more. In the same time, I don't want them to expand too much, so I go back in my main particle and push the size, not the live sec per second, to 1. So it's emitting, and after 1 second, disappear. Yeah. Then what I want is to fade in and fade out a little bit, so it looks much more smoother. So go back to Auxia system, size over live, and here you can design gradients. So it will make our size over live, can do pretty funny stuff, smooth it down. I just like to use the third one, so it fade in a bit and fade out slowly. And autosave, and you can do exactly the same for the opacity, so I just like to use the third one. So it fades in and fade out, and then disappear. Yeah, for the strings effect or point effect like that, you need to understand that points while emitting on the line depend on how much your particle system emits particle. And then this one here is just how much each particle emits of line. So maybe here it looks a little bit like more this is for Z space, and this one is for X and Y. Let's push it up, not too much. And then in our particle system, same thing, push it up, but not too much. Because then it starts to look a little bit too much like glow. Turn the fade out. I'm a lucky guy today. It looks not too bad. But I restarted this tutorial 4 times because I was not able to have something look correctly. Now this one looks very nice. So once you have something look like that and you're happy with it, you can add a new adjustment layer, name it mirror, and add a mirror effect of it. So go to effect, select it, effect, distort, mirror. And on X, divide it by 2, and here it is. Oh, so now you need to adjust maybe a little bit the position of our light. And the main position, so your heart look very like what you want. Yeah, this starts to be interesting for me. I like this one. Okay, maybe. Maybe I need to fade it in a little bit more. Yeah, let's see if that can. Maybe push this to 0.8. And add a little bit more velocity. Oh, not too much. 10 was okay. Yeah, it looks pretty good. I've spent, I think, 1 or 2 hours in this one to have it look like this, because I want it to look like a heart in the beginning and then moves to something who looks like a little bit more like a head. No, maybe if you add 2 small eyes like that, start to look like a head. If you have a lot of imagination. But yeah, this was not the game today. Come back to our HUD. So animation looks pretty good like this. I don't want to spend too much time in the tutorial. So now what we can do is add a camera to make it look like we are flying through this heart, and with the looping it's look like we are going forward and the hearts are coming. So layer, new camera. First of all, we need to zoom in and zoom out. So turn on the camera option, zoom out, can zoom out a lot. Add a keyframe and push this keyframe at frame 0, and then zoom in, maybe like this, and push this keyframe at the end. Start to look interesting. Zoom out a little bit more. Much more. Yeah, that's great. And now we're gonna add some rotation in the transform on X, but just a very, very little bit. So maybe go to -3 and add a keyframe. Push it to frame 0 and go to maybe 5. Push this at the end. And now it looks like, yeah, what we can do is going up a little bit with our camera. Keyframe position, go a little bit up. Yeah. Oh, one last thing we can do, totally forget it, is add a little bit of gravity. So all these particles are falling down a little bit. So this is 2 ways to do it. You can add gravity on all the particles, so everything is falling down. Or you can add gravity for just the auxiliary system, so it emits perfectly and then it's falling down. And that's exactly what I want, but just a very, very little bit. Like this, yeah, this is great. I'm just gonna change middle point a very little bit so it looks perfect to the end. And now I need to see the first frame is black and last frame is black, so my looping is perfect. So once you have that, create a new composition. Name it Hurt Particle Main and make it 16 seconds. Import our Hurt Particle loop, duplicate it, and push it each time at 2 seconds back. Always the boring stuff, but that's a VG job. Just gonna duplicate everything. So now we have a hard looping, and now we can add some variations. So I want one in color and one in white. So for this, apply into color correction, hue and saturation. I turn my saturation down and add the lightness a little bit up so it looks more white. Then I just copy this effect and each two paste it. So I have one in pink, one in white. And then another effect I did on this one, as I have a lot of black space around it, just to fill it, is add a new adjustment layer, search for distort mirror, and just bring my mirror in very little bit like this. So the center of my hurt fits with the edge of my composition. And then I duplicate it, make it turn 180 like this, and push it on the other side. So I have this effect. And yeah, when I work on some very large screen, it's interesting to have some effects like that. So it looks very perfect. And maybe if I search for my offset, I can now make it move from left to right perfectly and up and down. Just some idea for playing live with it, but that's the main effect I did. So guys, this was my brand new visual tutorial. Hope you liked it. As every time, if you have any question, if you want to do a comment, maybe I missed something, maybe you haven't understand something, you can follow me and send me a message on Facebook. You can tweet me on Twitter at Zyperworld or send me an email at contact@zyper.fr. Last thing, guys, I want to show you some exclusive stuff that you have never seen before, where I use that kind of effect. So I really like to build and write notes from melodies with it and make some nice movements, colors, making up, down. So this was my very first try. It's on a track I love from Underworld, Born Slippy. It's a classic. And yeah, this is 2 or 3 years ago I've made this. So isn't perfect, but you will understand the idea. So then another one I've made this last year. It's from Hardwell, Tokyo by Night. And I've made the small melodies with it, and it's going up, down. You have different colors, and the effect is going bigger and bigger as how much the music is getting higher and higher. So, and last one, so this is brand new. This I'm actually working on it. It's same as the thing I just showed you. It isn't finished, so it isn't perfect. If you see on that Hardwell, you have that stupid shine effect. I used this 1 or 2 times, and I just watched the video of my live performance, and this fucked up so much on LED screen. So never do that, guys. It looks just horrible. And yeah, so this is part of my brand new audiovisual show I'm working on since months now. This is much more finished, but actually it needs some new work. So I can't show you everything for the moment, but yeah, this is extra super exclusive stuff of my next audiovisual show. So same that in Hardwell, in the Hardwell clip, you have this notes going up and it's going bigger and bigger. Okay, maybe I can show you 2 seconds of what's coming next. Okay, and I can show you much more. So this is my brand new audiovisual show. I'm working on it. I hope I finished all the clips and the whole story around it for next month, and so maybe we can release it before the summer on my Vimeo channel. So this is really exclusive and pretty exciting. It's a brand new project I'm working on. It's really, for me, the next step of vjing, where music and visuals really come together. I think I won't use any lights in this show because I really want to focus on what's happened between music and video and create a whole story with all this. So yeah, I'm actually working really hard on this and hope to show you a little bit more very soon. So guys, if you haven't downloaded my latest series, you can go on visions.fr. It's my brand new website. Maybe you haven't seen it for the moment. We just came back from lots of improvement. We add new server who are more fast and more stronger, so your download go much more better. And yeah, normally all the download problems we had on it are now gone, and you can download all your free series or maybe purchase to support us or premium series who looks much more better, and you can do much more exclusive stuff with it on visions.fr. You know how it works. So guys, thank you for watching. My name is Zyper, and yeah, see you.